Hey, what's going on? It's Caden again, and I wanted to make this quick video to talk about NPS or Net Promoter Score, talk about why it's important, what it actually does, and how you can implement it in your company. So a Net Promoter Score, this is something that we implemented probably, year 3 in our company. So we went a little while without having it, but eventually we implemented this, and it was really nice because we got immediate feedback. And Net Promoter Score is basically a customer service metric. So it tells you, how satisfied the customer was with the process, because a Net Promoter Score basically just is a scale of 1 to 10, and it's someone saying how likely they are to promote your company or refer your company, or basically it's a word of mouth type metric, right? So typically speaking, on a ranking scale of 1 to 10, people that say 9 or 10 out of 10, they are what are called promoters, meaning they had a great experience and they are likely to promote your company or services. Typically between like a 5 or 6 and an 8, those people are called passive, meaning they didn't necessarily have a bad experience, but they're not really likely to go out and promote your company and your services. And then anyone below that 5 or 6 level, all the way down to 0, are what are called detractors, meaning they are likely to spread bad word of mouth, or they likely had a bad experience with your company. So it's really important to track this because it can really show you how people actually feel. And it's not the same as asking someone in person, because people don't want to let people down, so they'll likely be like, oh, it was good, even though they might have had a problem with the experience. So what we actually did to implement this was we had an automatic email that went out after the job was completed. And that email, what it had was just a link to a Google form, survey, whatever you want to call it. And that survey had 3 questions on it. Question number 1 was, how satisfied were you with your sales process, or with the sales process? Second one was, how satisfied were you with the technicians that showed up and the cleaning that they completed? And the third one was, how likely are you to recommend our services to a friend or family member? So the first one obviously gives us insight into how they felt about the sales process and that initial interaction with us. The second one gives us insight into how our technicians were doing, how we were actually doing when we were performing the cleaning and on site at the job. And then the third one is actually the Net Promoter Score. And we also left another one that was basically just for them to leave comments. So obviously, if they answered a 3 out of 10 on any of those, we want to know why. So we left a comment box as well so that they could give additional feedback as to why they were giving that score. And what this did was, obviously it gave us a lot of insight into each step of the process and how likely people were to refer us. And it made it really easy to track because all of those answers just went straight into a Google Sheet. So we could pull up this Google Sheet that showed us their name, and then basically on a scale of 0 to 10, how satisfied they were with the sales process, the actual cleaning, and then how likely they were to promote us, and any comments. Super easy to read. It was super easy to implement, and it gave us a lot of insight. If someone wasn't happy, we could immediately see that and get it fixed so that they weren't spreading bad word of mouth. If someone was super happy, we were asking them for reviews, referrals, things like that. So implementing this is not hard, and it's very powerful because it gives you a lot of insight into the actual customer side. And it's not, public facing, so people are willing to be honest, which is really nice. And you have to be able to accept that feedback to make changes to get better. And we did have ours set up, with technology and almost automated, but you can simply have a piece of paper that at the end of the job, either you or your technicians have, that just, asks 3 questions. How was the sales process? How was the cleaning process? And how likely are you to refer us on a scale of 1 to 10? And maybe a place for comments. And just as simple as that, just so that you get that data, that feedback, so that you can improve on things. And when you find someone that is super happy, you can ask them for those referrals, those video testimonials, and all of those things. So that is pretty much all I have for Net Promoter Score. It's not a super complex thing, but that is what it is, why it's important, and how we implemented it. So I hope this was super helpful. If it was, please subscribe. We'll be dropping more videos. And if you want more, check out the link below. We've got something for you for sure. So check that out. But other than that, I'll see you in the next one.